Hello folks, thank you for joining me. As you can see here, I've got, this is actually clay that is just drying out here in the sun. It was clay that was too hard to throw with, and I didn't want to try to punch holes in it and try to soak it down, so I've just sliced it, and it's now bone dry in the sun. It's ready to be put into a bucket of water. Of course, clay, and some people ask me this, well, why do you bother to dry it out before you put it, mix it in with the water? Why not just put it in as it is with the water? Well, of course, dry clay breaks down much faster than clay that's sort of already got moisture in it and is wet. You find it'll slake down much quicker if it's dry, so that's the reason we dry it out. And it breaks down much faster and much better. Here you can see just sort of leftover pots from a workshop we had a couple of days ago, which some students work, which is just drying out. So again, that's going to be added to the water and the vinegar, and then it'll be left for a week or so, and then I bring it out of the buckets and put it on these plaster bats that you saw me making just recently. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that what I'm doing here with that, but I just want to also bring you in on some other little jewels and secrets that I've obtained. No, that's not the right word, jewels and secrets. Goodies. Yeah, goodies and things that I've acquired. Ah, yes. So, let's see now. Let's just put the camera here on the tripod. There we go. Now then, what have we got here? What are these goodies, Mr. Leach? Well, you know, one of the things I love about being here in the US is the phenomenon called yard sale. In fact, I have become an ardent follower of every yard sale I can. Every time I drive by and I see yard sale, it's I've got to go in there and have a look, because I've come across some real useful things, and some of the things I come across are very useful for me here in the pottery, and I want to encourage you out there as well as fellow potters to pay a visit to yard sales. Anyway, of course, as potters, I do feel we should be good recyclers and also be what's the word, able to adapt. What's the word I'm looking for? It's gone. What I mean is, you know, when you're in a situation and you need something, well, you can make do, you know, with what you can find. It's not always, it isn't always a case of having to go and buy something new all the time. Sometimes one can get something second-hand, or one can make use of something that one's already got at home. I'm all the time doing that. Gives me a lot of satisfaction to be able to you know, make something work or fix something, and I can just do it very simply and very cheaply with something I can find around the house, you know, or maybe in my pottery studio. Anyway, just wanted to show you these things. Now, what have I got here? I bought, now this is something that's very common in the yard sale, of course, and usually for a couple of bucks or $3 or maybe $5 at the most, one can pick up one of these weighing scales. Very useful for weighing out your lumps of clay. You know, these are great, you know, when you've kneaded up your clay and you want to weigh out, and I encourage everybody who's serious about learning how to throw, you must weigh out your lumps of clay. Okay, so these are great for weighing out lumps, and you can weigh up to 25 pounds on one of these. Probably most of us won't be throwing 25 pounds, but you know, for £1, £2, £3, £4, £10, great. Why go and spend, you know, on one of these fancy scales that you can buy, you know, for $100 or $150, whatever? Why do that when you can only need to spend £5? There's another one I got here, which is an even older one, but beautiful. I love it. So again, you know, it's got a nice flat top. To it, so I can just put the clay on, weigh it, next one, weigh it, like this. Anyway, I thought I'd show you them. And that's something else I found, which is I'm very pleased to find, and that is bowls like these. These are stainless steel. I used to have actually some bowls like this in Spain, but they were made of enamel. And of course enamel chips, doesn't it? Or if you drop it, it chips off the glazed enamel and then it rusts. So, and then eventually a hole is formed. So these stainless steel bowls, excellent for, you know, when you've got the glaze, you can pour it into here, and if you've got a wide plate, you can glaze the plate through the bowl. Or perhaps you've got a pot that you're wanting to. Let me just get my banding wheel. This is something I used to do when I was working for my dad. You know, lower down, we take a banding wheel. You can put it there in the bowl, you see, and then just grab a pot here. I haven't got many big pots around at the moment, but if I say you haven't got enough glaze in your bucket or enough depth, you can of course glaze by pouring. So you take a jug full of glaze, spin the wheel, and just pour it over it like this, you see. And if you do that, this is great for that. Of course, the bowl catches all of the glaze. Are we in the picture down there? Yeah, just okay. So that's great. So bowls like these are a great find, I think, for use in the pottery. Then this is just a smaller one, of course, but all these kind of different receptacles are useful to us for glazing, and these scales are for weighing up clay, also for weighing up. Yeah, this bit on this one, this bit comes off, but it still works. Let's supposing you want to mix up glaze. Well, what do? You put the glaze bucket on there. You then zero the dial back to 0, like that. You start putting in your dry glaze ingredients, your feldspar, your flint, your, you know, and so another use. Something else I found which was so useful was a simple blackboard or chalkboard. A useful thing to have in your studio when you want to quickly do a little calculation, you know, or you want to write out a glaze recipe. And while I was here, I thought I'd give you a glaze recipe. It may not be. It's a Sullivan Glaze. Okay, it's a Sullivan Glaze. we're going to put into this, and this is one of my dad's actually, it's 25% of the following ingredients: china clay, flint or quartz, feldspar, you can use Cornish stone. Somebody just wrote to me actually recently and said, "Oh, thank you for the glaze recipe. It worked." He was very pleased with it. It worked well, but he hadn't sieved it well enough, of course, so it wasn't mixed properly. Cornish stone. What else? Yeah, whiting. So 25% each of those, and then you have 2% red iron oxide, and then you need to sieve it. 100 mesh. This is good for sort of cone 9 reduction. There we go. You see? See what a useful thing a chalkboard is. Alright, Sullivan Blaze, 25% of each of these: china clay, flint, or you can use quartz, feldspar, or you can use Cornish stone, and whiting. And then add 2% red iron oxide, mix it all together, and then sieve it. And then this is good for cone 9 in reduction. Gives you a nice Sullivan glaze. I can't show you the kind of glaze because I haven't. Oh, yeah, I have got one in there, but it's not. It hasn't come out very well. I was going to say I've got one in the showroom there, but I won't show it to you because it's. Well, why not? I will show it to you. Let's have a look. Well, as I say, in actual fact, this glaze that I mixed up, I think I got confused with the iron oxide, and it doesn't actually look very good here, I have to say, because it's slightly oxidized. You see? Can you see that it's very slightly yellowy in colour? That's because it's oxidized, and it really, to get a nice more bluey green, needs to be better reduced. Here's also on the inside of a bowl. I think it's lacking iron. I think I put 1% in instead of 2. I got confused. And that's another thing, incidentally, when you're mixing up your own glazes. It's very important when you've got the list of ingredients that you tick off the ones that you've put in as you put them in. You know, when you're putting them into the bucket, the dry ingredients, you've got a sheet of paper or you've got a chalkboard. You've got a chalkboard, and as you put them in, you tick them off as they go into the bucket. That is very important because so many glaze errors occur through just forgetting and getting confused when you're mixing them all up. Anyway, Simon Leach here saying keep practicing. Just wanted to show you a few things here from my recent yard sale purchases, and I encourage you, go out looking in yard sales. You can find a lot of things out there that can help you in your own pottery. Okay? Bye now.